My favorite woman of all time, the one that's head and shoulders above every other woman in the world, is, do I respect that girl woman? I respect her more than anyone else. Jennifer Aniston and Angelina Jolie couldn't give a fuck what they're doing, right?
There's research gone into how the war has affected people in Palestine. There are children there who have insomnia. They can't sleep. They hear the whizzing of the drones all the time.
Yeah.
At any point, a place could be bombed and they'll see dead bodies in front of them. These kids can't even sleep properly in peace because they get those shakes, and they die from heart attacks. Kids dying with heart attacks because of the sounds that they hear, and it scares them. So more than half of Palestinians, or half of people in Gaza, were not even eligible to vote then. 70% of the people who are killed right now in Gaza are women and children. More than half the population is children under 18. They didn't even vote for Hamas. But guess what? It's Israel who didn't allow them to have other elections after that, for which reason they're still in the governing body. Back in the day, Nelson Mandela was dubbed the terrorist. Then he became known as the freedom fighter. Then he won loads of awards for fighting
the Nobel Peace Prize.
Nobel Peace Prize.
The same person, the same cause. Nelson Mandela is a terrorist. Nelson Mandela is a Nobel Peace Prize winner. Yet everything he believed remained exactly the same.
How do you think, and how accurate do you think this labeling of terrorists is by the Western world?
For me, it's very simple, right? On the one hand, I'm hearing that Hamas killed 1,200 people, right? We're in Israel. Every army officer, every checkpoint has got hundreds of cameras. Yet I've not seen a single video from that attack, apart from in the distance when they were coming in the paraglider, right? But on the ground, every single person has got a bloody video camera. Yet I've not seen a single Hamas operative or member kill anyone or anything. And then over here, I'm just seeing on a daily basis the genocide, day in, day out, day in, day out. And I think people have finally woken up. They can see for themselves. It's not what the BBC, they've lost control. The Zionist media, Sky News, CNN, Fox News, they've all lost control. People are making the decisions for themselves. I think Bell Pottinger, which is a PR company, they were paid £540 million to generate negative propaganda against.
So, on the subject of women, you mentioned something once, but you didn't give an answer. And you said, I have a favorite. Is it a woman or a type of woman? I don't know which one it was. There's a woman who and I wanted to ask you the question, but we didn't get an answer. So I'm going to ask you now. Who is your favorite woman?
My favorite woman of all time, the one that's head and shoulders above every other woman in the world, is Bisan.
Bisan. From
Palestine,
Gaza. Hi, it's Bissam from Gaza. I'm still alive. That's the catchphrase.
Yeah, bloody hell. Do I respect that girl woman? I respect her more than anyone else. Jennifer Aniston and Angelina Jolie couldn't give a fuck what they're doing, right? But if Bisan was standing in front of me, I would be truly lost for words. I have that much respect for her.
Amazing, isn't it? I can see why. Right now, this woman, for those of you who don't know, has video documented her journey, her life in Gaza since the very first day of Israel's these Zionist terrorists, their attacks on the people of Gaza. And she's made a daily video almost, I think. And she posts it on Instagram. If you don't know, you need to go and find her. But what an amazing woman. What an amazing girl. She's the stuff that she's been through, her raw emotions being shown on social media. Oh my God, what the nightmares she must have been through.
She is literally running for her life. As she is running for her life, she is witnessing firsthand the most brutal, the most horrendous images ever. And she's still posting. If that was me in that position, I would crumble and die.
Yeah.
If I was exposed to any of that. I saw a video on LinkedIn once of a father carrying a child, and the child his head was almost like carved out.
Yeah, I've saw that as well.
And I saw it again, and I just had to move on. I couldn't even bring myself to watch it for a split second. Yet these people are having to witness it and witness that on a daily basis and pick up the pieces and manage the children like that. I couldn't do it. So I've got so much respect for them.
So much. There have been there's like research gone into how the war has affected people in Palestine. There are children there who have insomnia. They can't sleep. They hear the whizzing of the drones all the time.
Yeah.
At any point, a place could be bombed and they'll see dead bodies in front of them. These kids can't even sleep properly in peace because they get those shakes, and they die from heart attacks. Kids dying with heart attacks because of the sounds that they hear, and it scares them.
Those sounds are intentional. The drones are flying constantly. That buzz is constantly in the air.
Psychological.
It's designed. That is psychological warfare.
Yeah.
And no one's speaking about that.
Yeah.
And if you watch any video, you'll hear the drone in the background.
Yeah. And even in the news, like, places like Al Jazeera, I watch that a lot in comparison to any other news site. And even their reporters, now they only have people who have reporters over there now, and even their reporters, when you listen to them, you can hear the drone in the background. And it's disturbing.
Yeah.
And we only hear it for like a minute or so.
Yeah.
And it's really disturbing. You think, imagine having to hear that
24/7
night, every day.
Yeah.
Every single day. It's crazy. And now what they've done is their reporters, a lot of their, and they obviously they're going to be Palestinian.
Yeah.
Obviously they're going to be in Gaza. And obviously they're going to be reporting what's happening on the ground. Israel has killed so many journalists. It's unbelievable. Their journalists, Al Jazeera journalists, have been listed in like wanted lists on the pretext that they're associated with Hamas or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just become so ridiculous. It's become a farce. I know we're bringing round robining here and circling back into Palestine issue, but it's obviously a situation we can't ignore. It's a topic we can't ignore, and there's so much surrounding this that we could probably go on for days just discussing the hypocrisy and the atrocities committed by this Zionist terrorist regime. That it's mind-boggling that people can still find ways of justifying their actions.
I've got a question. We were told 80% of the people in Palestine support Hamas. So I've got a question. This is for clever people only. See, the opinionated people, this is only for them. Who should they support? 400 days of genocide and no one has stepped in with, no one has even stepped in with the remotest bit of intervention. If anything, all of the Western governments are selling even more bombs to Israel. Who should the people of Palestine support?
Let me take you a step in a different direction. Okay. When they say 80% of people support Palestine, number one, where do they get in those stats from?
Yep.
They're probably getting those stats from the elections which took place in that time, which is over 20 odd years, 25 years ago, whatever, right? Over half of the population in Gaza are not even that age or have been the age to vote.
Yeah.
So more than half of Palestinians or half of people in Gaza were not even eligible to vote then. 70% of the people who are killed right now in Gaza are women and children. More than half the population is children under 18. Yeah. They didn't even vote for Hamas. They couldn't have legally shown or strategically shown any support for Hamas. Hamas have been in power, but guess what? It's Israel who didn't allow them to have other elections after that, for which reason they're still in the governing body.
Yeah.
Okay. So back in the day, Nelson Mandela was dubbed the terrorist.
Yeah. Then
he became known as the freedom fighter. Then he won loads of awards for fighting
the Nobel Peace Prize.
Nobel Peace Prize.
The same person, the same cause. Nelson Mandela is a terrorist. Nelson Mandela is a Nobel Peace Prize winner, yet everything he believed remained exactly the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
So the system is wrong. And that's what I'm asking now. Like, who should, let's forget 80%. Let's say if there's 10 people in the whole of Palestine that support Hamas, right? Naughty. Who should they support?
There is no other option.
Yeah, exactly. They're seeing their families being obliterated, killed, their houses bombed. And there's only one person, that one guy is called Hamas. And he's saying, no, what you're doing is wrong. We need to protect these people. And the rest of the world is remaining silent. And then they get criticized for supporting the one person that's actually fighting their cause.
Here's another question for you. How do you think, and how accurate do you think this labeling of terrorists is by the Western world? Because the real question here and the real dilemma here for most people who are watching this conflict, and they're looking at things and thinking, okay, I can kind of understand why there's been a backlash from the Palestinians. They don't want to be seen as supporters of Hamas because that would be illegal.
Yep.
Okay, I'm talking about the average person out there, but those people who can see, okay, these guys have been cooked in a pressure chamber,
Yep.
and they've burst out, and it's a result of the Israeli position on them and the way they've been treated by the Israelis for such a long time.
Yep.
What did you expect? So that's one position. The other position is, well, these guys have been living under apartheid. They can't even protest peacefully. They get shot at. What other option are you giving them to protest? The only way they could have protested was to do something outrageous like October the 7th. And so people are finally beginning to listen to their plea. Okay, maybe that's the purpose that they served. And they've served that purpose. That's another position, right? And another position could be, okay, Hamas is a terrorist organization. This is really bad. They're really naughty people, blah, 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 killing innocent people. They want, and again, they keep citing Hamas's manifesto about wanting to eradicate all Jews and whatnot. Again, they're quoting and misquoting because apparently that was revised and updated through the new people who took over Hamas and whatnot, and said, no, that's, you're misunderstanding what we're saying. We're not saying just Jews because they're Jews, but the Zionist entity, which is a right-wing group of people who want to see our demise. So when we say from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, it's no different to what's in the Likud Party manifesto, which says from the river to the sea, about their people. So it's no different. You got the conundrum of the average person looking at this saying, okay, what happened on October 7th? Really bad. Innocent people shouldn't have been killed, X, Y, and Z. On the other hand, look at this. You've ignored them for 70 odd years. You've killed their people. You've imprisoned kids. You've tortured kids. You tortured the parents, mothers, sexual abuse, robbed their properties. What else was there left that they, what else could you have taken from them for them to sit there and complain peacefully?
Yeah.
How else are they able to complain or raise their concerns? Because anything they do, you've got tanks coming into their homes. A little kid might throw a rock and he's arrested for being a terrorist.
And that is actually labelled as a terrorist act against Israel. So that's recorded. So X thousands of the Israelis have suffered X thousands of terrorist attacks. A stone throw in a tank is actually one of those.
Wow, is it? I didn't know that.
It's crazy. It's absolutely, it's just mind blowing, and it's really annoying. Yeah.
How do you see this kind of?
For me, it's very simple, right? On the one hand, I'm hearing that Hamas killed 1,200 people, right? We're in Israel. Every army officer, every checkpoint has got hundreds of cameras. Yet I've not seen a single video from that attack, apart from in the distance when they were coming in the paragliders, right? But on the ground, every single person has got a bloody video camera. Yet I've not seen a single Hamas operative or member kill anyone or anything. And then over here, I'm just seeing on a daily basis the genocide day in, day out, day in, day out. And I think people have finally woken up. They can see for themselves. On one hand, we've not seen much. On this hand, we've seen nearly 200,000 people killed.
Yeah.
And I think people are making up their own minds now. So It's not what the BBC. Sorry, they've lost control. The Zionist media, Sky News, CNN, Fox News, they've all lost control. People are making the decisions for themselves.
Yeah, 100%. Because a lot of the media, legacy media, the narrative they were pushing was the Israeli narrative.
Yeah,
the IDF
exactly.
narrative. And that included things like the 40 beheaded babies.
Yeah.
Which there is no evidence of.
Yeah.
Apparently there were 2 children who got killed, unfortunately, and one was through injuries and the other one, there was something else. But there was no one in the oven.
Yeah.
No beheaded babies.
Yeah.
If anything, a lot of people who were beheaded was because of the Apache helicopters.
Yeah, exactly.
Through the, what was the Hannibal
directive
that they have, the Israelis have, that if, these guys come in, you just shoot our own as well, so they don't get taken as hostages.
Yeah.
Now, the imagery, the emotive imagery that's played with 40 beheaded babies is so evil that it provoked and evoked emotions from within people and said, you know what, go and get these men.
And justification.
And it's justified.
Yeah.
It's justified. What you're going to go and do there, that's why you got the likes of Jordan Peterson, a pseudo-intellectual who's just fallen through the ground.
Lost
all credibility, all respect.
Respect gone.
I'd lost quite a bit just before this anyway, but this just was like the final nail in the coffin, saying, you know what, you are a proper stooge of the Zionist regime.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of him and Ben Shapiro being so close and buddies. It's just ridiculous arguments. So when you have that argument that, look, what they did to our people, mass rapes and beheadings of children and babies, that imagery alone is enough to justify any kind of response. But that's what's happened now. And then for that reason, you've got these guys going out and committing such atrocities.
Yeah.
What really confuses me is the silence of the Christian community, because this was the birthplace of Jesus.
Yeah.
The oldest historical church was in Gaza.
Yeah.
Was obliterated.
Yeah.
There's no uproar. There's no significant uproar. There's nothing of significance coming from the Christian community to say this has to stop.
Yeah. Exactly.
You can't,
And even in the early images, they were like the Palestinians, which consisted of Muslims and Jews. You see, like they're actually throwing rocks or pushing back. The guy's wearing like a Christian cross and he's fighting alongside a Muslim. He's like, so they're both in the same team. And it's a good point. Why are the Christians not speaking up?
Yeah. Yeah. It makes me wonder. And I've also noticed there's somebody, I was talking to somebody else, and somebody also mentioned other communities around the world who have been relatively quiet. Now, for example, when the Black Lives Matter movement began, we had loads of people supporting that, including our own Asians as well.
And still taking the knee at football matches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the same can't be said the other way around.
And there's a reason for that.
What?
And that is Arab lives don't matter. We need Palestine. We need the land of Palestine to turn into Israel. We need to create the Greater Israel Project, which takes into account Jordan, Syria, part of Iraq, into Saudi Arabia. We have done the Arab Spring, which put in puppet governments. Any government like Iran that's not against, any government like Iran who's against the genocide or against the Israel expansion project, they're basically replaced with their own puppet governments. And then the puppet governments are just going to allow Israel to do whatever they want. And that's why Egypt, Saudi Arabia, all of these neighboring countries, they've all got their puppet governments in place.
100%. And you'll notice that a lot of the Arab countries, their rulers have been overthrown by America.
Yeah.
And it's been one of the most common things that they overthrow regimes.
Even Imran Khan, you know that?
Yes.
That was his imprisonment, his demise from sort of his political office was engineered in America. And I've seen a video where they're actually discussing, right, how can we take him down? Because he was very pro-Palestinian.
Well, yeah, he was very pro-Palestinian, but he was also very anti corruption and colonization.
Yeah.
There's the colonizing of lands, but there's the colonizing of the minds.
Yeah.
You have the Indo-Pak regions, and their minds are still colonized.
Yeah.
They'll see Agora, they'll see
Superior.
Yeah. And for that reason, you'll have the likes of the Nawaz Sharifs and the other politicians out there who will go out of their way to please their colonial masters.
Yeah.
In exchange for what?
Yeah.
The begging bowl. They'll have the begging bowl out there. Here, you know, can you give us some funds and give us aid, right?
Yeah.
And in exchange for that, they'll remain in power. They'll make themselves richer, including the army.
Yep.
And then the Americans will have their favored person in charge. And then again, they don't have to have NATO bases there, their own bases in that country. The bloody country is theirs.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Exactly.
It's crazy how that works.
Yeah.
Isn't it? So on that note then, when we have this colonized mind and everything that the Western European Americas say is believable, what do you make of these wars that we've traditionally gone into, like the UK in coalition with the US? Because the UK will just follow the US. There's the war in Iraq was very heavy in a lot of ways, in numbers, people who were killed, and the amount of money that was spent on that as well.
I've got my tissue out. £6 trillion was spent on the war on terror. Let me just wipe my eyes. £6 trillion was spent on the war on terror. As a business owner, do you know what I'm reading? Who made £6 trillion?
Very good. Follow the trail. Follow the money.
Follow the money. And there's a great saying in warfare: the beneficiary is usually the instigator. So if I'm going to stand to benefit to the tune of £6 trillion, I'll make the cutest, fluffiest little cat. I'll turn that little cat into the biggest terrorist on the planet to justify my means. So war is a bit of a con. And another thing, Bell Pottinger, which is a PR company, they were paid £540 million to generate negative propaganda against the Muslims.
Really?
To justify the war on terror.
Well, I'm not surprised that there is a propaganda against Muslims because we faced the brunt of it. But I didn't realize that there was one entity that was paid that much.
£540 million.
What kind of propaganda were they?
PR, they're a PR agency for the government.
So, social media posts, news,
everything,
articles,
like everything,
newspapers.
Saddam Hussein can attack us within 45 minutes, long-range missiles, everything.
Weapons of mass destruction.
You name it, A to Z. So they could fabricate anything. Give me that money. That's what I'm saying. Give me that money. I can make the cutest little bunny in the world. I could turn that little bunny into the biggest villain in the world.
It would be interesting to know who has financial interest in that PR agency as well.
Yeah. It's the whole war machinery. So if we go to war, that then benefits the politicians. They stay in power because the people are in a state of fear. The weapons manufacturer make billions, trillions. 540 million is chump change.
And that's just for PR work.
Yeah.
Imagine the hardware that they're buying.
Yeah. That's chump change compared to the £6 trillion. So it's nothing. I've got a business doing £10,000. Yeah, we'll happily spend £300-400 in marketing. That's the way you look at it. It's business.
Of course.
War is the greatest business on earth.
And as part of propaganda, they were saying that Netanyahu had a big role playing against going to war against Iraq and against Saddam Hussein, because he was saying, I promise you. So it was, have you seen that speech?
Yeah.
I promise you.
If you get rid of Saddam Hussein, the entire region is going to be safe.
Yeah,
then it's Iran, then it's bloody Syria, then it's Jordan, then it's Egypt. The Arab Spring. Let's talk about the Arab Spring. The Arab Spring, regime changes just don't happen like that. That was designed in Israel.
Yeah.
You're supporting the opposition. There's a full machinery that's required to overthrow a government. It's just not a couple of students that start something.
Of course.
So the Arab Spring, for years this is a grand design, and we're seeing it play out. Arab Spring, we're putting in the puppet governments, overthrowing the governments that are against Israel, along the north of Africa, and then over here into the Middle East, Iraq. And now we're trying to do the same with Iran. We've done it with Pakistan. So it's all just making sure that the entire region is towing the party line. And then the people in Palestine are wondering, well, where is the Muslim world? Why was no one saying anything? They've all been bought out.
Yeah. This is why you can see the likes of, we mentioned this in a previous podcast, people like the King of Jordan, King Abdullah, and his Hollywood-esque kind of escapades in aeroplanes, throwing aid out, trying to appease the public. But in reality, even the Israelis themselves see him as a partner.
Yeah. Exactly. And now what they're doing is they're grooming the new president / prime minister of Iran. He's already in cahoots with Israel. They're going to overthrow the current regime and put in their own puppet government.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise. You know what that really kind of pokes at is all of this is orchestrated, right?
Yeah.
All of this is pre-orchestrated. All of this is planned by design, right? So by design, we are often consuming information which is also produced by design. So if we've got information being shown to us and that we're consuming information related to something, it's because they want us to believe a certain narrative. So the question I have is, all these years when we watch Bond movies and Russia and USSR is the biggest enemy with the most beautiful women, and then we see other countries like Afghanistan and Arabs being played as the villains, and Allahu Akbar being used as the slogan for a war cry. Does that mean that's not true?
I think everything we look at on social media, the opposite is true. From my own experiences, when I was growing up, the cowboy and Indian films in America.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
The cowboys are the good guys, the Indians are the bad guys.
They were the villains, yeah.
I don't know. That was a genocide committed in America.
Yeah.
The Indians were actually just protecting their homeland.
Sure.
False. Africa's a poor continent. False. Africa's the richest continent in the world. It's just been exploited.
Looted,
it's been looted, and we're brought up to believe in the Cold War. Russia is going to attack. Russia is such a bad nation. Russia actually seems to be okay. They're getting on with BRICS. People seem to be warming to them. They're not going crazy in the world like America, just bombing country after country after country. So I think growing up, everything we saw in the media, now I actually realise the opposite is true.
So what are your thoughts on the Russian-Ukrainian issue?
I think if you look at the whole, I think Russia's in the right. And the reason for that is if you look at all of the detail around NATO and the expansion east, there was a deal in place. That deal was broken. And now Russia is just defending, is justified in defending its borders.
It's fascinating, isn't it? We in this country were wearing, well, not me personally, but people were wearing the Ukraine flag, the pins. Their children were given lots of assemblies at school. There were charity functions to help them. We opened the doors to say, okay, Ukrainian residents can come and live with people in the UK if they want to take refuge. Look at all the effort that has been put through just to show how the Ukrainians and the poor. And there was a Sky News journalist who actually did say, these guys aren't from some backwards kind of a country. These are people like us. They have blue eyes and blonde hair.
Yeah.
And look what's happening to them. Yep. Yet, far worse atrocities have taken place in the Arab lands.
Yep.
Nothing. But why? Because it's our countries who are the perpetrators.
Yeah.
It's amazing how people still buy into the bullshit.
Yeah.
That this, the Western thing is about equality and justice.
Humanity and human rights.
Human rights and everything, Human rights only apply to non-Muslims and non-Arabs.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Arab lives don't matter. Yeah. And I think, Majid, now, is it not the case that people have finally woken up?
I think we still have some way to go. I think some people have.
We're waking up.
we're waking. I think that's more accurate. People are finally waking up.
Yeah. Here's another thing. This is controversial.
What part of our conversation hasn't been so far?
You're a slave. Every single person in the world is going to be a slave to the banking system. It is the banking system's designed to make sure that every single person in the world is a slave to them.
We talk about the intrinsic value of currencies. You look at the fiat currency. Intrinsically, it's not worth anything. You burn a £20 or £50 note. It's gone.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything. Now we've become a cashless society, or working towards becoming a cashless society. Imagine, for some reason, the networks go down, electricity goes off, the central system just goes buff.
Yeah.
And they lose record of who's got what.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you going to do? Your company accounts, your personal accounts, the records, any record. Now everything's being digitalized.
Yeah.
Land registry.
Yeah.
Right? Imagine that goes buff. Your assets have gone, mate.
Yeah.
Mr. Ajmal, Mushtaq, all those properties that you have, imagine that.
Yeah.
How would you feel, like, just out of interest, how would you feel? The government says the system broke down, sorry, we don't know who owns what now, and you got no way to prove it. Here's the follow-up question then. What are your thoughts on things like crypto? Do you know much about it?
Crypto. The crypto bros are back. I'm not a fan of it.
You're not a fan?
What's it backed by? Fresh air?
I think there are some legitimate ones, crypto,
like Bitcoin.
Infrastructure, Bitcoin, things like XRP, which are rising, and the Ethereum. I think there are some legitimate uses, especially with the frameworks that are making, for example, international payments. So XRP is one of those that I hear is being used by banking systems to make international payments fluid or quicker.
Yeah.
So international transactions. And because it goes through the blockchain,
where blockchain is good. Yeah. Imagine paying into something, so you're going to retire with a pension pot, and then it's gone.
Isn't that what's happening with our national insurance? Because they just want us to die before we're old enough to claim our state
pay
pension.
into it. Listen, I'm delighted that we've actually had this conversation as a common platform where we can share, the truth. And I think that's you really enabled such a wonderful environment here that allowed us to discuss so openly and frankly. So
thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And hopefully one day we will continue with the part 2.
Part 2.
Exactly. Thank you so much.
No, thank you very much.
Superb. Thank you.